Hi, welcome to my kitchen here at Lane Ranch. So this video is just a quick introduction to your Instant Pot, whether you bought it for yourself after months of research or you were given it as a gift. It can be a little overwhelming when you first open it up. There's lots of features and lots of confusing things. And one thing I've heard from a lot of people is that they don't understand what the difference between the quick release and the natural release or slow release is. So I thought I'd just give you a quick intro and quickly show you what those two things are, what you're looking for, because it's a little confusing on the panel. It doesn't exactly explain it. If you haven't already, I would highly recommend joining the Instant Pot community group on Facebook. There, I think at this time are like 40,000 members, and the best thing about it is people try recipes, they have little problems with them, and they troubleshoot or ask for help, and everybody's really nice and is very willing to give advice on how to make sure you have the best experience with your Instant Pot, which is really, really cool. So join up in that group, and for the time being, let's get you going. So my Instant Pot is the IP Luxe, but that really doesn't matter all that much, except for the fact that we're going to probably have some different names for these buttons here on the side, the function buttons, and that's okay, because right here is the manual button, and the manual button means you can make anything that can be made in an Instant Pot using this manual button. You don't necessarily have to have a button on the side here for that specific food item. You just use manual if you need to. So for example, mine doesn't have a yogurt feature, but I can make yogurt using the manual feature. To do that, I had just Googled IP yogurt making using manual, and a whole bunch of stuff came up, and it was really, really helpful. So what I have is the soup and broth, meat and stew, cake, egg, saute, rice, multigrain, porridge, steam, and slow cook. So those are the features that I have on mine. If yours are different, no big deal. We can still do the same things on ours. The main functions are the same. So once you've put your food in, you have your lid on, you're looking up here at this thing and you're like, oh, what? So you can vent either to the left or the right. To get your pot to pressurize, it needs to be in the sealing position, so straight down. I leave my lid in that sealing position when I'm done cleaning it and done letting it dry out and everything, because there's nothing worse than putting everything in, turning it on, and then walking away to go do something else and coming back an hour later to hear that hiss, because it's in vent instead of seal, and then your food hasn't been cooking that whole hour you've been gone. Super irritating. So I learned pretty quickly, keep it in the sealing position. I will say, be very careful. They're not kidding. Do not touch the metal sides here. That's what all this plastic is here for you. Keep your hands safe, keep yourself safe. Don't touch the metal sides. So when your food is done cooking, your Instant Pot is going to look like that. You're going to hear some beeping, and it's going to come into this mode right here, which is where you decide, are you doing a quick release or are you doing a natural or slow release? If the recipe calls for a natural or slow release, you're going to wait until this timer gets you to whatever time it calls for. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. You can just wait for that. And then you're going to come up here and you're just going to flip it to either side. Oftentimes with the natural and slow release, there's not going to be a lot of pressure to be released. It's a great method when your Instant Pot is very full, because sometimes if you're up to that, 2/3 mark, stuff kind of comes out of the top of here and sputters a little bit and makes a little bit of a mess. So it is really a nice thing to do to just let it go to the natural release. But there are other recipes where it doesn't matter. So what I do is when it's on this function here, it's still warming your food. So to help get the pressure released a little faster, I just turn it off into the off, and then you come on up here and go ahead and hit it to vent. Now you notice for this purpose right now of us just looking at it, I'm a little close to my cupboard here, or maybe to the wall. So I like to take my pot when I'm cooking with it, and I like to kind of bring it out a little bit further away, because when you vent it with the quick release, a lot of steam comes out the top, and you do not want to ruin your nice wood cupboards or ruin your drywall or anything like that. It's not going to happen on the first time, but over time with lots of releases and getting that steam up there and stuff, you don't want to hurt your cupboards. That would be terrible. So that's kind of your main thing to getting started, is you've got your food in and you need to know how to get it back out again. That's something where people have a lot of problems. So once again, it's just going to go to this feature here. You're going to wait for it to count down, and then you're going to turn it to your vent setting that you want. And like I said, I leave mine in the sealing position once I've done all of that. Okay, so I am making refried beans today, so if you want to come back and watch that and see how I do that, I'm going to get my computer set up here so I don't have to hold on to anything while I'm cooking and showing how to do those different techniques. So hope you join me for that, but I hope that this little review of just looking at your pot right when you first get it out and you try your first recipe was helpful. Have a great day from Lane Ranch.